Been a while, Raider Nation. Let's talk about it. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Raiders Primos, Real Raiders Talk. My Primo will be back. He's having some things that he needs to take care of, but shout out to everybody that is joining us today. We have a lot to talk about with our Raiders. Even though they are coming out of the bye week, we still have news coming out of Las Vegas. We're going to start it right off, guys. We're going to start off with the news that came out, broke our hearts. Nate Hobbs getting placed on IR. Really, this has broken my heart because, like, man, what's up, Robert? Shout out to you. Having Nate Hobbs out for 4 weeks, that's what it's looking like. I'm gonna read more into it. Shout out to Sportsnaut. Or actually, no, sorry, guys. Shout out to like Pride. They just said the hits keep on coming for the Las Vegas Raiders secondary. They battled injuries in the defensive backfield throughout the first 5 games of the season. Nate Hobbs in the post, he posted on Instagram that he broke his hand, and due to that, Hobbs is heading to the IR, which leaves Las Vegas with Rockin and Amik Robertson as the 2 starters at the cornerback position, and undrafted rookie Sam Webb as the only backup on the active roster. Granted, Anthony Averett is eligible to return from his IR stint with a broken thumb, so it couldn't be more perfect timing if Averett is healthy and ready to play against the Texans this Sunday. And also, they released Bryce Crosby. We did add Tavon Campbell to the practice squad. So they're looking out. They're looking at the cornerback position. We also have Isaiah Brown, Jalen Guidry, Tyler Hall, and Nicole Roby-Coleman at our disposal, who is also on the practice squad. So one of them could be seeing to be activated sometime this week to fill in that void that Nate Hobbs is going to sit down. He's going to sit out, guys, against the Texans, Saints, Jaguars, and Colts. We're going to be without Nate Hobbs for those first 4 games. We got Carlos up in here. What's up, my guy? Raiders. Robert, bro. Yep, I know you always here. Like I said, guys, my other Primo, he's here, but he has some things that he needs to take care of real quick. But he will be in here. But I want to get your guys' thoughts on that. How is Nate Hobbs going to affect us? Losing him, I mean, he's one of our best cornerbacks. He's one of in the secondary. I'll say even on the defense as a whole, up there with Max Crosby. But against Kansas City, he did have a iffy game. But now we know, with the broken hand, and he just wanted to be out there with his boys. He wanted to be out there to make a difference, and I gotta respect that. I gotta respect the heart, but he has to be out. That's this bye week we were supposed to be healthy, and for him to be out for about 4 weeks, that's really gonna hurt us. With our defense already having issues in the back end, being unable to coverage down the field, unable to really get pressure on opposing quarterbacks, it's really going to be a struggle to see our Amik Robertson and Rockinson. Are they going to lock up on those wide receivers? I know this is the Texans, guys, but I feel the Texans are just like the Raiders. What do I mean by that? Their record isn't who they are. They are been inconsistent. They have been in games. Like, let's not forget, I think this is a Texans team that barely lost to the Broncos. This is a Texas team who barely lost to the Jags. I know those aren't like teams that, make you go, oh my gosh, they almost beat them, or like they really gave it their all against a team that, could be in a playoff race. Like, no, it's not that, but this is still the Houston Texans. They're still an NFL football team. They have, one of my favorite players, Brandon Cooks, on the offensive side of the ball. That's who really we have to lock down on. We don't get beat over the top. His speed is still dangerous. And if our corners cannot protect the back end, we are going to get like hurt. I want to give a quick shout out to this man, Digital Perez. Guys, this background, this new overlay, guys. Shout out to Perez for hooking us up. Just amazing work that this man does. Like, if you guys here, I'm gonna take this away real quick. If you guys can see, the whole overlay, man. Shout out to Perez for just hooking us up, supporting Raiders Primos and supporting the channel, bro. Shout out to him. I want to give him all the love that he deserves, man. Carlos, you say they might have to outscore, bro. I feel like that's how it's been these first 5 games. We've had to outscore light teams, but the problem is we couldn't do it. Our offense is not living up to the station, not living up to the money that we put to that side of the ball. We're gonna get more into that later because I got a little debate that I want to get in with you guys. Robert says, yeah, he was starting to be a standout. What a soldier to have a broken hand and keep playing. He'll be sorely missed. Hopefully the next man steps up. Dude, Robert, that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for like a Meek Robertson to step up like he did against Denver. Now, great game against Denver. Of course, people will be overlooked of how he was getting beat by Jerry Jeudy and a lot of like Courtland Sutton. He was getting beat, but people overlooked that because he had a 66-yard fumble return for a touchdown. I give him that. But at the end of the day, he was still getting beat. Can he live up to the Raider Nation has set up for him? I just don't know. I don't know. But I hope he can step up. It's next man up. Next man up. Rockin' Sin, he's always been shown that he hasn't allowed any touchdowns. I believe Raider Scout put a stat on. Let me see if I can find that real quick. He put a stout out there that Rockin' Sin hasn't even allowed a touchdown. He's actually having a better season than J.C. Jackson of the Chargers. So, I mean, I trust that Rockin' Sin is going to be out there. I'm glad he's going to be out there because can you guys imagine if we were to lose Rockin' Sin and Nate Hobbs? I mean, but at one point, they were both on the injury list. And then we were able to get Rockin' Sin, I believe, we were able to get him back last week. Mistake. No, he was out. He was out. Nate Hobbs able to get him back. Rockin' Sin needed this bye week to get healthy. So hopefully, he's going to be able to get health. He's going to be able to see the field against the Houston Texans. But yeah, it says Rockin' Sin, he's had 148 coverage in 4 games. He has 16 targets, 7 receptions, 93 yards. He had 2 receptions versus Kansas City. No touchdowns, 5 pass breakups. Quarterback rating when targeted, 55.8. I mean, you can't ask for a better stat line from cornerback, especially with the Raiders. It feels like when it comes to Raiders cornerbacks, they always to get beat deep. And I'm not talking about getting beat for 10 yards, 8 yards. I'm talking about they getting beat 20 yards, 30 yards down the field. You're always here wondering what are they guarding. That's what I'm glad that we do not have as Raider fans. My Wi-Fi is having issues right now, so I apologize for that, guys. I apologize for that. But I also want to bring this up, guys. We're making some trade. There's some trade rumors coming out that the Raiders are shopping. They're discussing with multiple teams about a possible trade with Jonathan Abram and Clelin Ferrell. Now, it's funny because I posted this on our Instagram, right, that we were going to talk about this. And someone said that we shouldn't be drinking the Kool-Aid, that we're going to get much out of these trades if they happen. Well, I'm not expecting for us to get much. If you're expecting us to get a lot out of Jonathan Abram and Clelin Ferrell, trade-wise, I don't know what you're expecting. I'm not expecting anything out of those trades. Maybe a 7th-round pick, maybe an additional player. I wanted to share this, guys, with you. So ESPN Jeremy Fowler, he reported in and talks with rival teams about both players. Jonathan Abram, his name was circulating a lot, and also Clelin Ferrell. NFC executive told Fowler that the Raiders are trying to start new with players who fit their personality. They've been pretty aggressive in that to find players that fit their scheme, fit who they are. Abram and Ferrell, 2 of the players remaining from the previous leadership tandem of Mike Mayock and John Gruden. With the Raiders off to a sluggish 1-4 start, continue continuing to reshape the roster with a new for Dave Ziegler. Now I see there down at the bottom, bro. Carlos, yes, that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping we find here. Let me get it up. I'm hoping we get some more DT help. We really need we need defensive tackle help. Abram, who's 25, is coming off a 2021 season in which he posted a career high in total tackles under 16, 14 appearances. He tallied 32 tackles in 5 games so far in 2022 with a lackluster 47.6 Pro Football Focus grade. Deron Harmon really has came in and filled that spot next to Trayvon Merritt. And Jonathan Abram has been more of that hybrid linebacker. Well, I feel like if you're going to play that, you might as well just squeeze another linebacker in there, whether you go get a linebacker or you go get a defensive tackle. Like, that's really what I'm trying to get. Also, let's get my boy in here. We got
What's good, baby? What's good, people?
We're already talking about our trades, how we got Clelin Ferrell and we got Jonathan Abram on the trade block. And Carlos here says we need DT help, which I agree. We do. We need defensive tackle help. Big time.
We need some pushing. We need some pushing the inside in the inside. Like big boys.
Yeah, we do. We do. I wanted to talk to you guys about I searched, I was on Sportsnaut and there's a couple, packages. What are some packages that we could get off of these? Well, here's one. I want to get your guys' thoughts on this. Las Vegas Raiders trade Jonathan Abram to the Vikings for Chris Reed and a 2022 fifth-round pick. Now, Chris Reed is an offensive lineman. Now, when they need help at the offensive line, we know this. The Raiders could pitch Abram to Minnesota in exchange for help at guard. He's a guard. We benched John Simpson. We tried Alex Bars in there, but maybe let's go out and get a guard. Maybe we try to revamp that, try to help that offensive line. Now, despite Chris Reed's status as a reserve, he could be a better option than Bars right now. This is Sportsnaut.com writing. Between 2020 and 2021, the former starter started in 20 out of 28 games. The latter has started in 14 games in 4 NFL seasons. Also, Reed has a little bit of experience as an in-light tight end, which has become a valuable position for Vegas in its last 2 games. This isn't a splashy trade proposal, but the Raiders can do this to strengthen their offensive line. I want to get your guys' thoughts on this. What are you guys' thoughts about going to trade Jonathan Abram to the Vikings for an offensive line? I agree with Carlos. I wouldn't like it, though. I wouldn't like it. I would feel if you're going to trade Jonathan Abram anywhere and you're going to get any help on the interior line, it's got to be on the interior line of the defensive side of the ball. We need help at the defensive tackle badly. I can live with our offensive line. Here's why. I feel our offensive line is getting better each week. I could be wrong, but from what I'm seeing on Sundays and Mondays, I'm seeing our offensive line get better each game. Derek Carr is having more time in the pocket. There is times he is hurried. There's times he's pressured, but what quarterback isn't pressured in the NFL? I'll tell you who. No one right now. Because after this past Sunday, it felt like I was seeing every quarterback going down to the grass. But the thing is, Derek Carr still has time in the pocket from time to time where he can stretch the ball down the field. Where we really need help is our defensive tackle position. So I wouldn't really like this trade. What about you, Nate? Like, let's not even say it's to the Vikings for Reed. Let's just say any offensive lineman that's out there. They trade Jonathan Abrams to go get line help. Would you like the trade?
I mean, it depends on the D lineman. I mean, if you know he's good, if you know he'll bring help, you know what I'm saying? Like, shoot. I mean, but like, also for the fact that Abram would be gone next, like at the end of the year, most likely, right? Because I don't really see us keeping Abram. He's not really much of that guy to where like we're gonna, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna use him. Nobody really sees him as like a priority piece to this defense, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like if it's for a good player that can fit good with our D line scheme and can like actually push, then yeah. But I mean, it just depends on whoever is on the other side of the trade for me.
Yeah. What about this one? Raiders trade Jonathan Abram to the Seahawks for Justin Coleman and a 2022 fifth round pick. What do you think about that one, Nate?
Well, how is he? How has he done?
Justin Coleman, he's his name has been out there, quite a while. I believe of course he's with the Seahawks now. Let me pull up his stats right now. Right now, as when it comes to his stats, he's had 51 defensive snaps. He had none against the Cardinals.
Uh,
He was injured from week 2, or I don't know if he was injured. It's not showing me here, but he only played in one game. He had 51 snaps, 77% of the time. He had 9 special team snaps. He did play against the Arizona Cardinals this past week. He has 7 special team snaps, which was 27 of the time. During the time he did on defense, he had 3 solo tackles and 5 combined tackles. And then he has 2 games. He has no interceptions. He really has nothing on the stat line, really, when it comes to pass breakups or anything to, really. He just probably be another death piece, really. He'd just be another
yeah,
death.
and that's what we've literally been doing for like the longest.
I wouldn't like that either. It's like what you said. We need someone who can come in and be an immediate, like,
We
change
need
on the
some
defensive
like,
side of the ball that will come in
yeah,
and
we
make
need
a
some
change
change in
and
there.
change
Like,
that defense up, where we can either get pressure, we can create turnovers. Let me see what Carlos said here. Carlos says Zeigler is known to pick up no-name players that pan out. If we can pick stud at offensive line and somehow find a DT/nose tackle, I'm happy. Plus, Graham scheme comes into play. Carlos, when you put it that way, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't mind that either. If it's the way it will pan out, where we get a stud offensive line, because, man, Lord knows we need help on the offensive line. Like I said, could I live with it? I could. But if you have a chance to do that, get a stud offensive line and go get a defensive tackle and hope, that defensive tackle pans out, the team can just go up. Another scenario, this is Las Vegas Raiders trade Jonathan Abram to Lions for John Comiskey and a 2020 fifth-round pick. The Detroit Lions have allowed the most points in yards league-wide, so they might not want to give up a player on defense. However, the Raiders can potentially entice the Lions to make a deal swapping a starter for a role player. Also, Detroit has a mess at the safety position. Let me see what it says. So the Raiders, it says the Raiders can use Comiskey's ability to rush here. His second on the Lions in quarterback hurries, 8 per Pro Football Focus. Bilal Nichols, Jonathan Hankins, and Andrew Billings have 8 quarterback hurries combined. That's crazy. That is crazy. I don't even know let me see what position this man plays. The Patriot way. I don't want the Patriot way though. I don't want the Patriot way though. Like, look how the Patriot way has panned out so far. Like, I don't like it. And it's nothing against Patriots. It's just, it's everything against Patriots. The Patriots.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying. Like, I don't like them.
Fuck the Patriots. But let me see. So let me see. So again, John Comiskey, he's a defensive end. So basically, we would be swapping a starter for a role player. He will be on the defensive end. Now, he's only played 2 games for Detroit. He played 28 defensive snaps. He had 1 assist tackle, 1 quarterback hit. He has 8 quarterback hurries. As stated, he did have 1 sack against Washington, where he played 31 defensive snaps in that game, 1 solo, 1 assisted tackle, 2 combined tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 1 quarterback hit. Could he come? And the thing is, it's back to what Carlos said. It's back to what Carlos said. And Carlos said that Patrick Graham schemes comes into play. He's going to scheme players to get freed up. So I kind of like this. I wouldn't mind this trade. What about you, Nate? You know, you trade Jonathan Abram for a defensive end. He's a role player. He's not even the starter, but he's a role player, and you get a 5th round pick out of it.
Well, it sounds like he's not too bad. You know, he sounds like he is, you know, a little better than your average DT that comes on and off the practice squad. Like we always do have all those every other year that we just keep on switching. And I feel like he would be a good piece, hopefully grow on a team like ours. Because that's what I like. The biggest thing is like if you pick somebody up, you want to see them grow. And that's why, you know, you got to look at people who has the potential to grow, you know. And I feel like, I mean, he does decent. He can do better.
Maybe he's one of those guys. Now, here's a sneaky one that I didn't even think about. I didn't even think about it. And we're off of the Jonathan Abram trade talk because now we're on to the Clelin Ferrell. Let's see what could we get out of Clee, guys? Yeah, what could be a package? And guys, this is on sportsnot.com that these are some trade scenarios that the Raiders could do or that are possibility. One is a Las Vegas Raiders trade Clee and a 2022 5th round pick to the Browns for cornerback Greedy Williams and a 7th round pick. You know, with Hobbs going down, breaking his hand, do you make this trade? If you're Ziegler, Nate, you make this trade?
For Clee and what?
Greedy Williams. He's a cornerback from Cleveland, and he just came back from dealing. Let me see if he was dealing with an injury. I don't think, but he just played his first game this past week. Let me see.
Yeah, I think I heard that, man. One time.
I want to see if he was dealing with any injuries. So yeah, they played. Yeah, he was on injured reserve from a hamstring injury. He just came back and played this past week, where he played 37 defensive snaps, which was 53% of the snaps. He had 1 assisted tackle, 1 combined. Really nothing to show of pass breakups or anything, but he has a good career. In 2021, he started in 16. He started in 8 games, played 16 of them, had 2 interceptions. His longest was 7 yards. He had 1 forced fumble. He had 41 combined tackles, 35 solo, 6 assisted, and his approximate value was about like 3. I don't even know what that means, but he had 2, and he had no tackles for losses. So he's had a decent career. He's only 25 years old. You know, he's a young. And he's coming in to prove something. We need help on the back end. He will come in and be another role player. He wouldn't. Now, the thing is, we got the bots in here. Hey Nate, you trying to go handle that, bro? Oh, now we good. Hold on, let me get that out of here. Yeah, let me get that out. Bye. But yeah, so Greedy Williams, he's a young guy. He's 25. Hasn't had coming out of into the draft. He was having a lot of hype. Cleveland drafted him in the 1st round. He didn't really live up to the expectations. Hey, sometimes you need a new venue. You know, you need to start somewhere new to have a good fresh start. And it's like you said, who knows? You know, you get a player that comes in, bro. For real, those bots, man. Dude, I didn't even notice that the bots came in, man. But yeah, you get a guy that's coming in, and he could just resurrect his career. You never know, because we need help in that back end, especially when Nate Hobbs going down. Like, what do you think, Nate? You get a cornerback, Greedy Williams. Your mic is not working, by the way. You are muted, my guy. Oh. You are muted. But yeah, what do you think? What do you think, man? Get Greedy Williams, get depth, get a role player that can come in and fill in the void for Nate Hobbs?
I mean, for time being, and he'll get most definitely he'll get playing time with Nate Hobbs being out for the next 4 games. We can see what he's got. He's been decent. He could grow, as I said. We would love that. We're kind of desperate now with that man out, and yeah, I mean, I'll take it for Klee that we don't use.
Yeah. And
Like,
Klee's been a role player
talent
now.
that we don't use.
Yeah, we don't use him now. The second year cover man played 91% of the defensive snaps, so that's a huge loss for a defense that's allowed a 68.5% completion rate. He's talking about Hobbs here. Hobbs, he played 91% of the defensive snaps, so it's a huge loss that Nate Hobbs is going down. He 11 passing touchdown, tied for third most league wide. That's the Raiders defense as a whole, and we ranked 24th in yards allowed through the air. I say, yeah, I wouldn't be mad at this trade. Go get some help in the cornerback position. And Greedy Williams wouldn't be a bad pickup.
Yeah.
He is coming off that hamstring injury, so that is like something you got to watch out for.
Hamstrings, bro.
But he only has 1 year left on his contract. So Williams does have extra motivation to go get paid. But here's the big one, and I think everyone in the chat, and including myself, want to see this one happen. Raiders trade Cleve Farrell, a 2022 third-round pick, and a 2023 fifth-round pick to the Commanders for cornerback William Jackson III. I'll let you start it off. How would you feel about that?
I'm taking it, my guy.
I'll throw out some stats for you. So far in 2022, he's played 70 snaps against Jacksonville, 58, 61, and 15. So he was for the first three, for week 1, week 2, and week 4, because he did not play week 3. Week 1, week 2, and week 4, he played 95% or 100% of the defensive snaps. In week 5, he was limited to 15 defensive snaps and only played 23% of those snaps. He has 8 solo tackles, 1 assisted. He has 15 altogether solo tackles. He has a 9 against Jacksonville combined. This is combined tackles. 9 combined tackles, 2 combined, 4, and then 1 against Tennessee. No interceptions. He has 2 passes defended on the year. He played 100% of defensive snaps, and homeboy didn't have a pass defend. I wish I could see how many times he was targeted.
Yeah, because maybe sometimes like the less stats, like you see, like the less stats, the better, he is, because that's how quarterbacks tend to avoid him.
Yeah. No, and William Jackson III, bro, that is a guy that I'm hoping we can go out and get. He is a cornerback that is proven that he can.
So he's like an auto starter
guy. Huh?
So he's like an auto starter.
Yeah, he's like an auto starter. He could come in and fill that void of Nate Hobbs, come in and play that role next to Rocky Sin. I really would love if we can pull that trade off. Yeah, I'm taking that. Like, he's in now. Do you give up a 3rd round pick and a 5th round pick for, how old is? Let me see.
I mean, it would be kind of.
He's 20. He's 29, so he's at the end of his. He's at the end of his prime. You giving up a 3rd and a 5th?
I mean, I feel like that also at the same time would be risky, because, I mean, shoot, Josh McDaniels could be a good, good draft. You never know.
Yeah, well, we're talking about Ziegler here. Now, I don't know if McDaniels will have it, and that's the thing, But Patrick Graham said this and Patrick Graham values cornerbacks, and he says you need to play man-to-man coverage in this league. Period. Point blank. William Jackson will come in and do that. Now, the Washington Commanders play more of a zone coverage, and Jackson expected that when he signed a 3-year deal with it. Now, Jackson wants a fresh start. Ziegler can swing for the fences and attempt to acquire William Jackson III, who wants a fresh start. William Jackson wants to be traded. Now, with Hobbs out, Jackson makes sense for the Raiders. This is sports now, guys, but they'll have to compete with several suitors for a player at a premium position. Ziegler would have to amp up for a cornerback who's allowed a completion rate of 60% or less every season between 2018 and 2021 and logged double-digit pass breakups in 3 out of 6 campaigns. Aside from the future draft capital, Washington may want another defensive end opposite of Montez Sweat. So they're going to basically get rid of their cornerbacks. They're going to try to revamp that defensive line. I say, bro, swing. You swing for that. Like, that's what I want. I want to see them take that chance.
I'm down if they're up for it.
Bro, I'm up if they're down.
For real.
Shout out to everybody. This is your first time joining us on the Real Raiders Talk. Go hit that subscribe button and share the link around. Let's get, bro. We are at 88 subs. We're trying to get up to 100 subs before the season ends. We're actually trying to get to 500 before the season ends. That's my goal. But we are close to 100 subs, guys. Yeah, that is crazy. I know it's crazy, but we can do it. We can do it. I want to get in a couple other points, guys. So another one. So this one is NFL players who could benefit from a trade at the 2022 deadline. One of those names was Clelin Ferrell. Reason why, it said, would pass rusher Clelin Ferrell be a game changer for a contender? Perhaps not, but he's doing very little with the Las Vegas Raiders right now and won't get a chance to shine this season if he isn't moved. This is from Bleacher Report. The Ferrell does have the potential to be a valuable role player with another team. He logged 4.5 sacks as a rookie and have 21 quarterback pressures in 2020. A team like the Detroit Lions could take a flyer on Ferrell and give him an opportunity on the field. That's where we could even swap defensive ends. You know, there's that scenario where we traded Abram for their defensive end. We could trade Ferrell for their defensive end, do a little swap. Detroit's defense has been over the season. I feel like that's not been surprising. And it says Ferrell is in the final year of his rookie deal and will play elsewhere in 2023. Detroit could give him an early audition with the deadline trade. So this is some things we could look at. And then for the next one, why am I on Best Buy? What the fuck? So another one. So this is also from Bleacher Report. This is the top. This is the 2022 NFL Trade Blog Big Board and top potential landing spots entering the week 1 of Trade Block. Now, number 1, I wanted to bring up. We already got Clelin Ferrell out the way. I wanted to bring up Robert Quinn, a edge rusher from the Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears pass rusher Robert Quinn might not be as easily available as some other players on our list. However, the 3-time Pro Bowler was reportedly looking for a change of scenery early in the offseason. This was in May. I continue to hear that Quinn wants out of Chicago, and who could blame him? There are a host of interested teams. One of the best fits is the Raiders. The Raiders could look to replace Ferrell with a far more proven option in the pass rushing rotation. Dallas could bring back Quinn, who played there in 2019, but who cares about the Dallas Cowboys? The Raiders and Cowboys were both playoff teams in 2021 and are playoff hopefuls in 2022 and have the financial means to make a run at Robert Quinn. He did have a whopping 18.5 sacks last season. So, I mean, you talking about proven, Nate. Robert Quinn is proven that he gets to the quarterback. Now, sitting at 1-4, we're probably not playoff hopefuls anymore. But if we are still serious about making the playoffs and trying to go on a deep run, I say you make that trade with Robert Quinn. You try to get Robert Quinn in here.
Yes, sir. Bro, imagine all them 3 in a line. Stop.
Or right now,
the D line, bro.
Now he has 1 sack on the year. He has 5 solo tackles. He has 2 assisted. He has 4, 5, 6. He has 7 combined tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 1 quarterback hit. The most he's played is 76% of snaps, and that was against the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers. But he's played majority, at least 63% of defensive snaps. So he will be coming in as a role player guy, but he can get to the quarterback. He had 18 and a half sacks last year. That cannot go unnoticed. So that's with
18.
our trade guys. I wanted to get into something else. I wanted to ask you this, Nate. Who's got to step up for us to make a turnaround? It could be a player.
Anybody?
It could be the coaches. It could be a unit. I wanted to ask you that. Who needs to step up in order for this team to go on a deep win, like a win streak? We need to go on a win streak. Who needs to step up?
That is tough because you could literally say the whole team, but like,
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's what I was.
Because like, there's so many people. For me, I feel like the most important would probably be, and it has to. Okay. Let's say I was gonna either say drive, freaking points, consistency.
So like offense? No, like we're going like playoff, like players, a unit, like offense or defense, coaching, like who needs to step up?
Oh, who? Shoot. And it would have to be the offensive, execution in the red zone.
We went over that after the loss against the Chiefs. And guys, I'm bringing this up because I literally posted about that people are blaming the Raiders defense for the 4 losses that we have. Like, oh, if we had a better defense, if we had a decent defense. I'm like, guys, we could have a decent defense and we could have a better defense. I still don't see us winning games. Why? Because our offense can't get the job done. Now, I'm bringing this up, our defensive rankings. Right now, we're in like the 20 ranked 23, 24. That's bad. I get it. And our opposing offense points per game is 25.9. But then you look at our offense is at 22.7. So like we're getting outscored and the reason people's like, well, then our defense just has to hold better. Like we should be able to win with 23, 24 points. I'm like, for the way this offense was built, we go out and get a Devontae Adams. We have a Darren Waller. We have a Hunter Renfrow. We got Josh Jacobs. We have Josh McDaniels, who is probably one of the best offensive minds in the game. And we're only scoring 22.7 points a game. Like, majority of that money went to the offensive side of the ball. The reason why I'm like, okay, 25.9 from the defense they're allowing. I kind of expected that. I don't know who did not expect that to happen, but I expected that to happen. I thought this is why we went out to go. This is why we went to go to get a Devontae Adams. Yeah. This is why we revamped the offense. It's so we can outscore opponents, but we're not doing it. We're not doing it.
Like, we're in a tough conference, and people need to realize you need to score more points, like,
thank you, Carlos,
than what you hope to win games. Like,
yeah, 30. No, and that's why I don't understand. And I seen someone post that we were 6 in points, 4 on the offense, which is true. We are 6, but then I go to let me go to our red zone efficiency. We're 25th, tied for 25th touchdown efficiency with 47.37%. People don't want to talk about that. Oh, we're tied. Let me see where that was at. We are tied with the Chargers. We are tied with the Rams and the Colts.
We're tied with the Colts?
We're tied with the Colts and the Rams for the worst, tied at 25th for having the worst red zone touchdown efficiency at 47.37%. Which, if you look at the Rams, guys, and you look at the Colts, those offenses are dreadful. They are dreadful to watch. Now, the Rams, I don't know what the fuck is going on. Like, I don't care. But they are like not playing as expected. The Indianapolis Colts kind of expected them to be in that category.
We should not be in the Colts
Raiders,
bro.
We should not be down there. People want to talk about, oh, we're 6 points. Bro, we are 47.37% in touchdown efficiency in the red zone. That is a problem. And then when you look at red zone scoring attempt, Raiders are 5th in red zone scoring attempts per game at 3.8 attempts so far in early in the season. And you're only scoring 47% of that is touchdowns. That's basically
like
4.
You're getting so many
4 attempts, and 47% of that is touchdowns.
Like,
you can't win games like that.
We have so many chances to just finish. It tells you on like,
and many of those another thing, chances. Nate. Yeah. And Nate, nobody wants to talk about that the Raiders offense had the ball against the Chargers to win the game. The Raiders offense had the ball against the Cardinals to win the game. The Raiders had the ball against the Titans to tie the game. The Raiders had the ball against the Chiefs to win the game. The Raiders offense, every single game had a chance to win the game. I get it.
I'm not saying, gives us possession, bro.
Bro, this defense is playing lights out. I'm not saying this defense is playing great, but they're playing enough to put our offense in a position to go out there and win game. Now, I want to ask you this, Nate. How do you feel when people say, oh, well, the Raiders defense gave up a 20-0 lead. The Raiders defense gave up a 17-0 lead. Where do you stand by that?
If we gave up a 20-something nothing lead, we were at 21. We're still at 21. You feel me? And we just went, or we were at 21. We're only at 28. Bruh. We haven't, I don't think, did we break 30 points?
We did, but that was because of a defensive touchdown. Like I said, you take, and the thing is, I'm like this, because the stats, they get fucked up by that. Like, they count a defensive touchdown to the offensive side. That goes to our points per game. I don't count that shit. Like we were at 25. The offense scored 25 points, guys, that game. The offense scored 25 points that game against Denver.
Geno Smith, bro, he's dropping average of 40 in the last 3 games, bro, with that Seattle offense, bro. Have you seen those games in like the last 2 or 3 games? This man is dropping 38.
No, he's like dropping like 30, like 33, 30, 36. I think one was like 44 that he dropped. Bro. And that's what I'm saying. I look, and it's not, and of course, I'm not going to make this a Derek Carr debate, but it comes down back to our quarterback. When your quarterback can only throw 2 touchdowns a game and is averaging 1.5 touchdowns a game, there's a problem. When your offense, and I'm bringing up another stat, guys. Like, I'm not making this up. Even you can find this at Raiders.com. We kicked 15 field goals to having 11 touchdowns. Your kicker has more field goals than your quarterback has passing touchdowns. Then your offense has touchdowns altogether. How is our offense not the problem? Like, please, someone explain to me, how is our offense not the problem? Our kicker has more points so far, or has more scoring. Like, he scored more ways, has 15 more field goals than our offense has touchdowns. And our defense is the problem for that. Yeah, I'm sorry. Didn't we go get Devontae Adams so we can compete with the Chiefs and high scoring? Because Josh McDaniels is like, we're going to get in a shootout with the Kansas City Chiefs. Am I the only one that understood that? When in the hell did we think that this defense was going to be top 15, top 20? I didn't. I for surely did it because of the moves that we made in the offseason. I expected this offense, top 5 offense, and people want to throw in my face we're 6th in scoring. Bro, we're 6th in scoring because of our kicker.
Bro, literally.
We're 6th in scoring because of our kicker.
Bro,
Not because of our offense. We're 6th in scoring because of our kicker. You don't beat the Kansas City Chiefs by field goals. We said this, Nate. We said this in our pregame live against the Chiefs. You don't beat the Chiefs by field goals. We had 9 points, and all we kicked was field goals. Like, if you go look at Daniel Carlson's stats against Kansas City, he had 3 field goals. You don't win games like that. You turn those 3 field goals into touchdowns. I mean, 2 of them was 50+, but if you could sustain drives and you can score touchdowns against the Chiefs, bro, that's 21 points.
You're beating 21 points. You're beating them.
Yeah, you change 9 points into 21 points. That's a big difference. Big difference. Yeah. Shout out to Carlos. Shout out to Garrett. Also, one of our boys. Shout out to him. Carlos said we should be dropping 2 to 3 touchdowns on the offense side on every team with the talent we have. Carlos, this is why I am the way I am with our offense. A lot of people get on me that I shouldn't be too hard on the offense. Josh McDaniels, Derek Carr, there's a lot of they're learning. I don't care. With the talent we have on the offensive side, this is why I give a little slack to the defense, because I did not expect the defense to perform the way they are performing. I'm giving them a round of applause. I'm going to hold the Kansas City Chiefs to 30 points. Nobody wants to talk about that. When last season, bro, they were putting almost 50 burgers on us. I believe they scored 44 the first game and then 48 the next game on us. Nobody wants to talk about how we held them to 30 points. I really felt like, bro, they held the Chiefs to 30 points, bro. Yeah, did we let Travis Kelce score 4 touchdowns? Are we going to act like Travis Kelce is not the best tight end in the league and he's not known for being a red zone threat? We're just going to ignore that. We're just going to ignore that because, we're just going to ignore that because our offense, they're still learning. It just takes time. I'm tired of that bullshit. It is going to be week 7. It is going to be your 6th game. Y'all should have to sit down by
almost
now.
Halfway.
Yeah, for real. Bro, Carlos, 3 touchdowns. We better score against Texans.
He better have his first 3 touchdowns.
Passing touchdowns, running touchdowns. I don't care, bro. If we don't blow, I'm sorry. If we don't blow the fucking doors out of the Houston Texans, I know I said earlier we can't sleep on them. But, bro, the talent that we have on this offense, how are we not putting up 30+ points a game?
Our talent compared to their talent, we shouldn't be in a close game.
We shouldn't.
We really shouldn't.
We shouldn't. And guys, like I said, this is stats that I'm putting up over on here, guys. Our passing, we have 1,196 yards. This is Derek Carr stats. He has 8 touchdowns. He has 4 interceptions. He has 6.1 averaging on a pass attempt, and his completion percentage is horrible. By the way, it's 114, 185. They're not showing me the percentage exactly here. Let me do it for you guys. It's 61.6 completion percentage. Is worse since his rookie year.
Bruh.
Like, guys, people like this is. I'm not getting on Derek Carr because like I hate him. Like, no, bro. Y'all want to bring up stats? There's your stats right there. 61.6% completion percentage, which is his worst since his rookie year. And interceptions in a game in week 1 against the Chargers, which ties his career high for interceptions in a game. Nobody wants to talk about that.
Right.
I'm not. That's just why I say now. Do we have issues and in other places? We do. This is why I don't think they're going to move on from Derek Carr. But it just shows that I just don't. He's not a great quarterback, guys. He's not an elite quarterback. He's a
He's
good
not that
quarterback
guy.
that needs. He's a quarterback that needs elite talent around him, so that they can elevate him to be elite.
Yeah.
That's my take on it.
And everybody
that's what
else,
we need.
every
But the problem,
everybody,
Nate, the problem with that is, Nate, sorry to cut you off. The problem with that is, would you think we have elite talent on this offense? You know, we got Adams, we got Darren Waller, we got Hunter Renfrow, Josh Jacobs. Matt Collins is looking to become looking like a good wide receiver too, looking like a sleeper pickup in the offseason. Wouldn't you think we have top talent around him?
yeah.
Like, he should have no excuses to not get the job done. That is why it's frustrating. I'm not hating on the guy, and I don't want to not see him do good. I want to see Derek Carr be great. I want to see Derek Carr shut my mouth.
We want to see 4 touchdowns.
Up. Yeah, shut us up. But week in and week out, you don't. You don't shut us up. Now, against the Chiefs, I don't blame him, because Hunter Renfrow and Devontae Adams, I don't know what the fuck y'all what was going on there.
Yeah,
but this is why this is why I am frustrated
especially in Arrowhead.
Entire offense, not just Dar. I'm frustrated with the entire offense, because how, as an offensive unit, we are not putting up 30 plus points a game, that we are not averaging at least 4 touchdowns a game, or like Carlos said earlier, at least 3 touchdowns a game. Like, how? I have no answers for it. And like I said, Las Vegas, they're giving, and the thing is, look at their third down percentage is 41.7. So they're getting off. On third down. Now, they only have a couple sacks a year. They have, I believe, have 6. We have 5. We have 5, I think. We have Max has 4, and then
Max has
1. Oh yeah, 6. Oh, then we have 7. Then we have 7.
Max is leading in the NFL.
Yeah, so we have 7, and then the possession per game, time possession per game. The Raiders defense, bro, is on the field for about 31 minutes.
Yeah.
Actually, no, we have the ball for 31 minutes. Oh wait, no, sorry guys. I'm looking at it just changed on me. I'm looking at the offensive stats here now. That means, bro, Las Vegas Raiders offense, you're not going to believe this. The Las Vegas Raiders offense, that means they're 41.7 on third downs. That means we can't sustain drives. 41. We can't sustain drives. When you're under that 50% of third downs, and again, you have the talent that we have, there's a problem.
That's worse than Garrett on Madden.
I get it, Carlos, but bro, week 7, guy. Week 7, Carlos. I first 2-3 games, I was like that, but now I'm like, okay, y'all had a whole offseason. And also, if that's the case, Carlos, why not start your starters in preseason, at least for a drive, to see where's that connection at? Get on the right page. A lot of people disagreed with me starting the starters in preseason. The reason for that is because of this right here. It's a new coach. It's a new scheme. You got to see what you're going to get out of players, what you're going to get out of Derek Carr, what you're going to get out of Devontae Adams. I'm not saying play them for two drives. Play them for 1 drive and see what you – because that's where the thing – I'm not even going to bring that up. Y'all got to have your own issue. But, Carlos, that's why I said what I said about starting the starters in the preseason. See what works. And maybe, this wouldn't have happened.
It's funny because we're the only team that has to look at our wide receivers and not look like every other team in our division has a quarterback that'll make our offense better. We have an
Yeah.
offense that has to make our quarterback better.
And
That's what's
it's
tough.
and the thing is, and it's showing that that's not gonna work. You
Yeah.
need a quarterback that is gonna make this offense better, not the other way around. We're trying that experiment and it's not working. We went out and got the best wide receiver, not working. It's not working.
That's
Um, Back
insane.
to the red zone guy. Like this is why it's red zone for me. It's the offense of the red zone. So we brought up that they have 3.8 attempts averaging in the red zone. Out of those 3.8 attempts, they're only scoring 1.8 out of the time. So they're scoring like two red zone. They're scoring like 2 touchdowns on 4 red zone trips. That's 50%, and that's where they fall into the 47% category.
Yeah.
Like, and that, like I said, bro, with this talent, how are we? Why is our red zone that bad? And that's what I'm hoping that we fix. We fix. Now I also did this. How many red zone touchdowns do we have on the year? We have 9 red zone touchdowns. Like I said, I couldn't really find. I tried my hardest, guys, to research how many red zone trips did we have on the year. Um, Actually, bro, I could bring that up now that I think about it. Give me a sec. Give me a sec, guys. Give me a sec.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a sec here. Because I want to get that number. So we only scored 9 touchdowns in the red zone.
9 to
9
what?
touchdowns in the red zone, right? Okay, hold on.
Let's talk about these referees though. Like these referees, some bug.
I can't. Okay, I thought I could find it, but I can't, guys. I'm sorry, I can't find it.
Garrett
If
doesn't like the
anybody has it,
referees.
I was like, if anyone has the total number of red zone trips that we have compared to the 9 touchdowns, I would love to get that. Our Instagram is right here, Raiders Primos. Go follow us on IG. DM me if you can find that. I will see it, and I'll be very appreciative if someone could reach out and give me that stat because I would love to see. Um, Other than that, bro, it's like that's the only thing. Like we're kicking 15 field goals compared to 11 touchdowns on the year. Something's got to change. We should not be kicking more field goals than touchdowns. Not with this talent. Not with this talent.
Carlson over here having more fantasy points than Derek Carr. Stop.
Yeah.
Bro.
It's not it. Garrett, I don't really want to put too much in the referees because it's 2 weeks ago. But yeah, fuck the referees. I'll say that. Fuck the referees. But anyways, guys, we are back from the bye week. So Thursday,
yes,
we are going to go live. We are going to preview the Houston Texans and the Las Vegas Raiders. Stay tuned for that. If you guys haven't already, on your way out, hit the subscribe button. If you haven't already, this is your first time. Smash that like button and hit the bell so you guys can be notified when we go live Thursday. It is going to be this upcoming Thursday, guys. Stay tuned for that. Shout out to everyone. Shout out to Carlos. Shout out to Garrett. Shout out to Natural Nate, even though he's with me. Shout out to
Digital
Robert.
Perez.
Shout out to
Digital
Perez.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to Perez for this amazing background, this amazing overlay, bro. Shout out to him.
Thank you,
bro. This looks amazing. I am excited to be rocking with this
sick.
throughout the season. But shout out to everyone, bro. Your Primos is out. We'll see you guys Thursday.
Peace.